Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's presentation. Thanks for coming. This week, Rachel Pavoni is going to uh, be the co-host as usual, and we're going to talk about screen readers and all kinds of different things relating to readers, tips, and tricks. And Rachel, I'll let you take it away from here. Welcome.
Um, so today we're going to talk about screen readers, and I would like to just leave it to like screen readers on the computer and not really talk about phone screen readers because that's a totally different form of screen reader. That's a portable screen reader, and these are more screen readers that you can put on computers. So there's three of them, but there's two for Windows and three for Windows, and one for Mac. So Mac uses the same screen reader your phone uses called VoiceOver. It's just the commands are different and um, you have to go in and out of fields a lot with that one. So that's pretty much the only difference between on your phone. You can still navigate and do all of the gestures that you are available on your phone. And then on Windows computers, you have Narrator, which is actually getting up there to be a really good screen reader. They're starting to test it with more internet platforms and working on that. And then you have NVDA, which is a free screen reader that you can download. And you have JAWS, which is from Freedom Scientific, which you pay to download. And right now they have the deal where if you buy it for $99, next year you can pay $99 and upgrade it. So they've done a lot to make that affordable for people.
Nice, nice. So I've not upgraded to JAWS 2020 yet. Can you tell us a little bit about what's new with JAWS 2020?
To be honest, there really isn't much new with JAWS 2020. It's pretty much the same thing. The one thing they've added in is it's able to identify and describe pictures now, which I don't know. I've only upgraded from 2019 to 2020 because I've only had JAWS for a couple of years now. I was primarily a Mac user for a very long time, and then I switched over when I got into the field I did in college because I have to know all of them. um, so the only thing I've noticed is that it describes pictures and it will describe, I think, pictures and tables now too.
Oh, nice, nice.
hmm
So, and what else? What else do you want to cover with that?
Um, so to talk about, I want to talk about voiceover a little bit because a lot of people get the impression that if you buy a MacBook, you can use the trackpad and do gestures like swipe with one finger right and left and do the rotor um on there. You can do that. I think right now as of I think it was 2016 or 2017, all of the MacBook computers have that built in. Um and MacBook Pros have had that feature built in for a while and I have a MacBook Pro. So not I think all of them as of now can do that, but I think if you have a computer that's older like 2016, 2015 that isn't a MacBook Pro, it can't do that feature. So,
Right, like mine is a MacBook Pro. It's a mid 2012, which I'm very thankful that it can do that feature because I know someone who had a 2009 MacBook and I don't think theirs even had a trackpad.
mhm.
So it really does depend. And do you want to talk about like where we first like where did you first come onto the MacBook playing field? In other words, what was the Mac OS that you started with?
I don't know exactly the OS. It was the one before Sierra, I think. It was whatever came out in 2015. That's when I started using a Mac. And the reason I
Okay.
started using the Mac was because I had lost all of my vision and I needed a computer and I didn't I, to me, and this was before I did my research, JAWS and NVDA looked really confusing to me, but when I look at it now, Mac is actually more confusing than those. And so when I recommend things to people now, I try to get them to get Windows with one of those two products because it's a little more simplified than Mac's voice over operating system is.
That is absolutely true. I think, I do use a Mac. I, I guess you might say primarily, but I also have a PC, and so I switch back and forth. And my experience coming from, let's see, so I started out with Leopard. I went back to Windows after a horrific accident where I got sick on my Mac, to be honest, um, literally, and that was not a fun experience because the Mac didn't work anymore. And so anyway, as I stated, I went back to Windows, and then I think it was, yeah, it was when Vista was happening. Let's see, I was on Vista for a while, then I went back to a Mac when Snow Leopard was just coming out. Um, Actually, I'm sorry, when Mountain Lion was coming out. I apologize for that because I remember getting Mountain Lion for free. It was a if you buy a Mac after this date, you get Mountain Lion for free. This is just when they were starting to release software, like the last year that they said, all right, you have to pay $20 for the software. Then of course now, as individuals know, Mac software is free. So my experience has been um, that if you are a beginning uh, a beginning computer user, that you probably do want to go to Windows, because I know that for me it's less confusing, and the reason being, I think, and tell me if you agree with this, Rachel, I think it's because with the Mac you have to interact with a lot of things. You have to interact with the toolbar. You have to interact, basically go deeper within a table, go deeper within a toolbar. And the the level of in which you need to interact or go deeper can change from place to place. Would you say that would be the main thing that
Um,
makes Mac a little bit harder?
I would say it's just if you like I've met people that have dexterity issues, so it's kind of hard for them to use Macs because you have to interact with so many keys at the same time. But I don't think that's the hard part because there are more advanced features like you can turn on Quick Nav and Quick Nav you
Oh, I
can
love that.
use a lot of the same like shortcut keys as you can on Windows. And I just figured that out a couple months ago. So, but I mean, that's something that I would show somebody before I'm like, yeah, you have to, do use the rotor and go to headings and then use the arrow keys to go up and down at the headings. I would just say turn on the smart navigation and use this key and that key and it will help you. You just have to that's the hardest part when you're training somebody on Mac is to teach them how to interact and uninteract with the fields because that's something they haven't had to do before if they're a Windows user.
Yeah, I can remember my first Macintosh training. I wasn't a very patient instructor, but I remember being trained and just having trouble with the interacting, and okay,
Oh,
now
I
you
was
need to stop
self-taught.
interacting.
I taught
Oh,
myself.
no, honestly, Rachel, that lasted, I don't even know how long that lasted, but I I self-taught myself, or I taught myself as well. It's one of the things, like, some people can teach themselves, some people can't, but it's like I just was like, okay, I'm just gonna learn this. But anyway, that's my experience as far as the Mac is concerned. Great product, and I think the cool thing, the Apple does a lot with dexterity as well. So there are some great features within the Mac. Definitely not uh, saying you should not get one. They're very good. Would you say
Well,
the same?
yeah, and people ask also too, why are Macs so expensive? And one of the reasons they're so expensive is because they come with this very fancy screen reader built in. it's also the materials they're made out of. The materials they're made out of are not what usually computers are made out of. So that's the other reason. But um, the Macs are so expensive because they give you this screen reader for basically for free. As where the only other screen reader you can get for free is Narrator, which is still in progress, and NVDA. So JAWS is the only one you have to pay for right now.
Right, right.
But it's
Eh,
worth it. I like JAWS.
Yep, definitely. So speaking of Judge, do you want to talk about that, or do you want to talk more about voiceover? Or it's up to you. You're the speaker this week.
I guess because I don't have as much experience with JAWS. Honestly, if I was training a client on a Windows computer, I would have them download NVDA first because a lot of the gestures that you use for NVDA, like as long as they're not NVDA keys, which
Hmm.
that's a totally different thing, but the shortcut keys you're going to use are the same for JAWS and NVDA. Um, then there's the NVDA and JAWS, like certain commands that go for each screen reader, and those are the most complicating part. But honestly, a lot of the people we've trained, we don't even teach them that. We teach them all the shortcut keys, and then if they want to do something more advanced, we'll start teaching them JAWS commands.
Right. Makes sense. Makes
Mhm.
sense. Yeah. It's much easier to tell someone, all right, now press H, and then it'll say H. I said, yeah. It'll take you by heading. It's just a lot more easier than just arrowing down, arrowing down, arrowing down.
Well, you can hit H or you can go by one, two, or three, and that'll take you down too by heading one, two, or three.
Oh yeah, I guess to be honest, I've never really paid attention to the levels, but yeah, that makes sense.
That's more of like a school research type thing because it's faster.
Right. No, makes sense though. If you get told, all right, it's in the second heading level or it's in heading level 2, then
Mhm.
that does make sense.
Yep. So, I thought we could open it up for Q&A with any screen reader questions or any help you guys might need. Um, Me and Sean can both answer questions.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, am I on?
Yes, you're
Oh,
kind of faint.
we have to get closer to the mic. Um, one of my questions is I would like to learn how to use Narrator as my main default screen reader, just so I have a handle on if the NVDA didn't do something, I could switch to Narrator. Are there any key commands or is there any documentation if I can find any, and where can I get the documentation? Or Rachel, would you be willing to work with me
Okay,
for
sorry. Where can you get the documentation you said, correct? And if where, or if you can, where?
yeah, if there's
Oh, what
any.
the heck? Sorry. Okay. I believe Microsoft does have a Microsoft Accessibility. They do have documentation for Narrator. Really, honestly, I could say you can uh, get the documentation just searching for Narrator documentation or Narrator screen reader documentation, and it should take you right to the documentation if you find the Microsoft link. Would you say that would be the fastest way to do it?
That would be a good place, and really nobody in vision rehabilitation therapy or that's a caddis right now that would be doing training like that. I don't know anybody that's doing narrator training because we really don't recommend just using narrator. We'd rather have you use NVDA than use narrator because NVDA is stronger.
Can I give you a suggestion?
Sure.
If you do a search for shortcut keys for narrator, it will take you to the Microsoft website. The shortcut key is the Windows key and Control and then Enter, and that'll turn narrator on and off.
Yeah, I know it turns it on.
It also turns it off.
Yeah, now the question also I have is it the same? Like, let's say I'm on a web page browsing the internet. because I've never browsed the internet with narrator before. I mean, I've used it to troubleshoot, but I've never, is it the same thing? Like, can you hit it, insert F7 for links, H for headings, L for landmarks? You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure it is.
I was gonna say that would be something to look up because I've messed around with narrator, but I haven't messed around with it enough to see what it works with yet.
Same here. Like I've definitely used it when I needed when JAWS was acting up, when there was no speech. I'm primarily on Windows, primarily a JAWS user. However, I have used NVDA. Um, excuse me, but to me, I use narrator if I need to get out of jam. It's not something that I use as a primary. Mainly, I think because of Braille. I like connecting my Braille display to the computer, so I do use JAWS as my primary. I do have NVDA. It definitely has. Whoa, hello. It definitely has matured over the years. I can remember. Um, when eSpeak was on NVDA, and
Yeah,
now
I
they
do
have
too.
a lot better voices and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, I would definitely either use JAWS if you have it, or if you don't have it, then definitely recommend downloading NVDA. Um,
In NVDA, you can put on a flash drive and take it with you.
ah,
So if you don't
thank
have
you.
a physical computer, you can go to the library and you can put that on the library computer and use that computer. I mean, I've done that around campus with computers here.
Thank you. You
So,
just actually jolted a memory. I was going to say. So the one thing I do like about NVDA, I was about to say narrator. One thing I do like about NVDA is that you're right, uh, put a portable copy, that is a copy of it on a thumb drive. And I've had to do that. My college, they took a long time to upgrade JAWS to the appropriate, to basically the latest release. And I would do just exactly what Rachel said. I would pull out a thumb drive, turn on narrator to get to the NVDA file. All of a sudden, boom, I would have a screen reader running off of my thumb drive. And it was great. It was a great way to just be able to use the computer like everyone else and not have to worry about, oh, does this computer have a screen reader? Oh no, you just pull the thumb drive, and as stated before, you have
you recommend that to
speech.
every college student now that they have that on a thumb drive and they have that thumb drive somewhere in their backpack so they can get on regular computers on the campus.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, there was a time when JAWS was portable, but the issue there was that you had to install video drivers onto
Mm-hmm.
someone's computer, and they may not want you to. Whereas NVDA, you don't have to do that. It's just plug and play with a
Mm-hmm.
little assistance from narrator to find the appropriate file.
Now, you can't, I assume that this is true, you can't use narrator as your main primary screen reader, right?
Well,
Not
you
Am I
yet.
can if
correct?
you want. I mean, but we don't recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's why
okay.
I say not yet because I don't know how far narrator's gonna get, but it's been a slow upgrading process to try to get it up to the level of screen reader capability that these other ones have. So,
One thing
Oh,
I do
okay.
like,
Thank you for helping me.
sorry. Oh, no, no, no problem. One thing I do like, Rachel, and I don't know if you've had a chance to uh, check this out or not, is Jaws's OCR. Yeah, Jaws OCR. Have you had a chance to check that out?
no, I haven't.
And apologies ahead of time. If you guys hear me stammer, I apologize. I'm going through some health changes right now. That's why I said the word a lot of times yet last week on the YouTube presentation. So apologies ahead of time. But anyway, I have tried that, and it works. It works reasonably well.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question,
Yes.
Okay.
a couple of questions. First of all, about the OCR with JAWS, you have to have a scanner, don't you, to do that?
Oh, thanks. That was not. Okay, seriously, that was not funny.
What happened?
I have health issues, and that is why I hold on. That is why I stammer sometimes. But anyway, does anybody have any other questions about screen readers?
I have a question.
Sure.
Okay. First of all, on the JAWS, you have to have a scanner to do the OCR, don't you, for that?
I'm sorry, what was the last part? JAWS OCR, and then I'm sorry.
Yeah. You have to have a scanner, don't you, to do that with OCR with JAWS?
Yes, yes. Yep,
Okay.
you do. And I had a flatbed scanner, or I have a flatbed scanner, and I picked it up for about $100, I think it is. So the scanner works pretty well. It's an Epson scanner, and it did need some drivers, and I had someone from Epson email me the correct driver. That's the only frustrating part. But other than that,
I
the scanner works pretty well.
I was gonna say I see that as being good, but they have the KNFB Reader app and they have Seeing AI now. I used Seeing AI on my package yesterday when I was preparing lunch, and it scanned everything and put it in a very nice, neat layout in Seeing AI. So,
Yeah, but that's totally different.
Mhm.
But the other question I have is, what's the deal with this ribbon business in Windows? It's a sort of a virtual. I don't understand that because I'm not using Windows now. But can you two explain what the deal is with this virtual ribbon? I think it's in MS Office, and how does JAWS deal with that?
Let's see. I don't have the latest version of Office. Mine's kind of old. It's 2012, 2013. Rachel, can you explain that?
So the virtual ribbon, like when you're working in a Word document or something like that?
Yes.
So I think this is a visual thing that I'm not understanding, but I think when you look at Word now, the document takes up your whole screen and there is no ribbon at the top, like with all of the file and all that stuff like it used to have. And so I think that virtual ribbon is there so that it gives you something to click on when you want to see the ribbon so you can edit your document or whatever you're doing with Office. Because
How
I
does JAWS
haven't
deal with that?
experienced that, but Jaws takes it as just like you would hit Alt to go through the ribbons. It plays just like that. So if you
Oh,
hit
okay.
Alt, it will bring up the regular ribbon, and you can go through that with the arrow keys.
Oh, okay. Good.
Hmm.
Any other questions?
I'm just curious. He said he wasn't using Windows. What is he using?
What am I using?
No, the guy that was just asking about the ribbons. I just got in here, so.
Oh, no problem.
I'm just using the Apple products.
Oh, you're using Apple. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I was thinking DOS. I don't know why Apple didn't come across my mind, but I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Yeah, personally, I really don't care too much for that ribbon stuff. I mean, it's kind of weird. I think that if I play around with it more, I'll understand it. But I'm so used to hitting the Alt key, and then down arrowing and right arrowing and all that stuff, get into different places.
That's exactly what I do. So
I was also going to say, getting back to OCR, I assume you were talking about scanning an actual printed page. Yes, of course you do need a scanner, but if there's JAWS also in quite a few earlier versions ago, versions ago came out with something called Convenient OCR, which actually scans your screen internally in the event that you're on you're using a program that's not entirely accessible and has graphics of different kinds with text within them, it uses that too. So differentiate between OCR and convenient OCR.
Convenient OCR, I have found, works really well with inaccessible PDF documents.
Okay, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I like it for that as well. It's I haven't used convenient OCR in a while, but I do know it's there and it does work well. Ultimately, for KNFB Reader, though, PDF documents are very good for Windows as well. And actually, I did a kind of like I guess you could say a contest, and I had a print book, and it was a children's print book, and I put the book on the scanner, and I tested the book with KNFB Reader and JAWS, the JAWS OCR that had just come out, and I found that KNFB Reader at the time worked better, but you never know because JAWS may have upgraded the OCR engine, and I haven't seen any upgrades for as far as KNFB Reader is concerned. But they both do well.
KNFB Reader has the update now where you get KNFB Reader and Newsline together.
Oh yes.
That's their newest update. I'm still on the old KNFB Reader because I like it better.
Well, there are two
talking about
apps. Yeah, there's the NFB Newsline that has basic KNFB Reader. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
KNFB and Newsline have a thing now where you download the KNFB Reader and you get Newsline. So they've kind of like merged that into one app instead of having two separate apps. You can still have two separate apps if you want.
Okay. Huh. Any other questions?
So, HK speaking, KNFB Reader, is that app expensive or is it a free app?
So if you have NFB
I'll
Newsline,
look that up right now, Sean. Hang on.
well, I mean, I know the prices. If you have NFB Newsline, that's free. But the KNFB Reader app itself, it is $100.
Oh, okay.
But
still up there.
at least as far as I know, Rachel, you can look it up if you wish. But when I got the KNFB Reader app for Windows, there's a promotional event going on, and I got that for $20 actually.
Well,
If I was just
now,
lucky.
now they integrated NFB Newsline with KNFB Reader.
Yeah, from my understanding though, it's a basic version of it, is what I'm understanding.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
So
even use it
basically,
though,
I'm sorry?
because I have a far better scanner on my phone, Voice Stream Reader. That's the best.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
really
like
cool.
VoiceStream.
Pretty accurate.
Oh yeah.
You were right about the price, Sean. But I know if you're part of the NFB, usually during your state's convention weekend, they'll put it for a discount in your state, and also for national convention, which is in July. They usually drop it down to like $70 or $60.
That's not bad.
No,
What
no,
did
it
you
isn't.
say?
Unfortunate. Well, right now I'm looking at the App Store, the Apple Store, and unfortunately, it's not telling me how much the KNFB Reader is costing because I have it on my phone, so it's asking me, do I want to open it?
Makes
I went
sense.
on and did a search on the internet.
Yeah, and then I saw something here saying that it's something was $14 in app purchase. So I guess you got to buy something else to get it. Oh, the stream. What is that thing called? The Dream Stream Reader or whatever the thing's
Voice
called.
Stream
Voice stream reader.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the first thing
It's
they
a
brought up.
great app. Great. One of
I
the
hear a lot of
best.
people talking about it, saying it's pretty good. But
I know you can put Daisy files on that reader because I have people that don't have a Victor Stream and they'll use that for their books. That app.
VoiceStream Reader and VoiceStream Scanner are two different apps. VoiceStream Reader is for reading a whole variety of files. VoiceStream Scanner is sort of taking the place of KNFB Reader.
Oh, I was wondering, wait, voice stream reader? Yeah, you're right. It's voice stream scanner that scans. I'll have to take a look at that. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I actually have I think I have it on beta. I'll have to look at that.
The newest release of the NFB Newsline has a basic copy of the KNFB Reader.
so you say it's basic. That
As
means
long as you're not doing anything like really fancy.
No, I don't know what it is. I haven't looked at it yet, but I know I got a notification that the KNFB Reader is part of the NFB Newsline app.
Yeah, me too. I don't use that. I just read the news. I just ignore it.
Oh.
But seeing AI is actually really good as well, and that's a free app, which is nice.
Which one?
Seeing AI.
Oh, okay, yeah. You know what? I don't. If I'm looking for something specific using that, it's kind of hard getting into it because you can't control the words. You can't go word by word or letter by letter. As far as I know, at least in the version I have. I don't know if they've
the
updated or
rotor.
not.
Have you updated your Seeing AI in a while?
No.
Okay. That could be it because I was using it the other day and I could go in the rotor and go by words and it was letting me do that.
Okay, well that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But how long does it last on the screen? Because it doesn't last very long, does it?
Mine was on there for a good 5 minutes while I was looking at it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's better than what I've experienced.
I have it's kind of an unrelated question, I guess, but if you guys want to deal with that.
Sure.
Okay. Have any of you guys used the Amazon Kindle app for reading books? And if so, how did it work out for you?
Sure. Yes, I have. And for me, I didn't like the way the page turning was accomplished. I think you could do a 3-finger swipe to the left, but it would just make a bonking sound. And it just really wasn't that fluent as far as reading goes. And especially for textbooks, which is what I was trying to use it for, there are some textbooks where with textbooks, you couldn't really have a good experience with reading with Kindle because the way you normally read books with Kindle books, there is a speak button that will read the page for you, and if the publisher has not allowed that to happen due to copyright, then it's pretty hard to read Kindle books. But if they have, which is most books, then the Kindle, from what I hear, reading Kindle books is pretty good.
Okay,
It's just
so
my situation was bad.
How did you get around the page turning problem?
I used the Kindle Fire and it was not good. I just had to deal with it. So the Kindle Fire, the way the book was actually read, I had to really pay attention. And if I had a focal seizure like I did a while ago, which may have scrambled the question that someone was asking during the question, and I may have thought what the question was different than what it was. The my point is, if I had a focal seizure and I had to go, I couldn't go and listen to just what I missed. I had to go and listen to the whole page again. So it was like you really had to pay attention to what you were listening to, because otherwise, if you tapped it, it would start reading all over again from that same page. It was not a good experience. But like I said, if you do have the option to where it says speak or read or whatever at the bottom, then the reading should go very well. You could
Okay.
even ask the Echo to play the book as well, and it'll play your Kindle ebook, assuming that it can play it with the speech.
No, Echo, stop. Thanks, Sean.
You're welcome.
Oh, you tripped her Echo, huh?
Yeah, the Echo.
Echo, play music. I'm about to
No,
do
stop doing
that. Sorry, Rachel. I could resist.
I have two different speakers, so I had to name them with different action words because I'd say something and both of them would go off at the same time.
I heard you can change the name of that, can't you? That
yes,
one and
yes,
the
you
other
can.
one, can't you? Yeah.
Yeah, you can say change your wake word, and it'll give you an option to choose from.
Yeah, because a friend of mine, he calls his computer. He just says computer, blah blah blah. You know. So.
Yep.
After he tells me, he says, "Go ahead, try to control my computer. Go ahead." So anyway,
Getting back to apps that use the camera, like the, Seeing AI, KNFB Reader, and Voice Stream Scanner. Have y'all heard of this new one out, or fairly new, called SuperSense?
Yes.
Nope.
No.
There's a new one out. It's called SuperSense, and I heard somebody the other day actually said they used it. Well, first of all, it's apparently you can scan a variety of different things and even recognize objects. Somebody actually told me the other day they used it to find a quarter on the floor.
I've seen a demo of that app, and
apparently it's using some kind of smart scan mode that it kind of tries to figure out what it is you want it to look at, what sort of thing you're trying to get it to recognize.
One of the ways I'm using it, I have to take pictures of documents and send them. And I can take the picture with my iPhone, have SuperSense check to make sure that all the text is there, and then send it. And people think I know what I'm doing.
You're supposed to say you know what you're doing.
I don't have to say it.
I've not heard of that app, but there is an app called Spectrum Access. While we're on apps, and this app, from what I gathered, it can be used even if you're not on Spectrum, but you have certain TV shows. Have you guys ever heard of the app?
Oh yeah, I just heard about
ActiveView. ActiveView. There was an app called ActiveView, and they basically
audio description.
Yep, audio description movies, and so Spectrum Access, I think they bought ActiveView, and they're expanding on their audio description. So it's kind of nice to know that I don't have to be forced into Spectrum to be able to use this app. That's pretty neat. So I'm guessing it uses the same technology as ActiveView, where it'll listen to the movie that you're watching, and then it'll sync with the audio description within your earphones or headphones, whichever you prefer to use.
I haven't heard of that one yet.
No, I hadn't either. Let's see. the Be My Eyes list emailed me, and they were talking about that app.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
heard
just
something
got
about it. Yeah, go ahead.
I just got an email about that yesterday
Yeah, same here.
about
Yep,
Spectrum Access.
that's actually pretty
Never
neat.
tried it. Yeah.
I wonder if it works on older shows, shows from yesteryear or whatever.
I don't know. It could.
It'd be interesting to find out. Yeah.
Well, it's a free app, so that's always good.
Yeah, that's true. But once you got to have an updated TV though, because every time my second oldest grandson comes over, he always talks about my TV. He always tells me that it's too small. You got an old TV, it's small, because they have a 55-inch flat screen, and I only have a 26-inch flat screen, which has been around for about 10 or 12 years. So he's always talking about my TV. So, so I don't even know if it would be compatible or what. But
tell him to deal with it.
Well, I just tell him I'm going to get a 72-inch screen. I'm not going to let him watch it. And he just
That'll
laughs
shut
at
him
me.
up in a hurry.
He just laughs at me.
Well, that's an idea for a future topic on these discussions: is accessible TVs and TV streaming devices and so forth, and what their limitations might be. Like mine, for example, is I have an Element TV, and I figured out how to, with the use of Be My Eyes, how to turn on voice guidance. But all voice guidance on the TV itself does is read basically the menus and the status of, and the source, whether it's HDMI or. So far, I haven't had any. Well, of course, because I have cable and I also have Apple TV, the Apple TV streaming device, and so it will read whenever there's a signal coming into the HDMI port. It will say that, and it will say no signal. If there's no signal, it'll say power on, power off, and it'll read the menus. Now, because I have not, to my knowledge, it will not. It may read a local guide like if you have an antenna hooked up, but I have not tried that. And it will not read the guide from the cable box, because the cable box itself talks on its own.
Oh, that's interesting.
So the TV itself will not read it will not read like a menu sent from an HDMI source, like in a Blu-ray player or a cable box or something like that. That's read by the actual device itself that you got it hooked up to. That's just a little kind of thing. But that would be a good future topic, and I wouldn't mind participating in it.
Okay. Yeah, that actually sounds really good.
Yeah, that's be another thing too, is to find out if it works. If you cut the cable, cut the cable to cable, which is what I have.
The cord.
The cord, yeah, there you go. And see if it works with that also. I wonder.
Well, my understanding is that it might do read an antenna guide if one is presented to it, but I have not tried that. It will read the menus from the TV itself, and it will read whenever something is being sent to the TV. I mean, it'll say what's happening as far as video values, and it'll say the source. It'll say source. It'll say HDMI 1080p. I guess that's a video sort of a value.
Oh,
1080p.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, like the resolution, video resolution, I guess is what it is.
Yeah.
It'll say that.
Very good, Sean.
Thanks.
Or beyond that, I'd have to use the accessibility features, if any, from whatever device I have it connected to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that would be a good topic. I have a request. I'm using DirecTV, and I'm really frustrated with the voice reader that DirecTV provides because it only reads the menu headings, but if you open a menu, it won't read any of the options in an open menu. So if anybody comes up with a better solution for DirecTV, I'm interested.
So do you have a Roku? Because we have DirecTV as well. And they provide us with Rokus. Those are not, they're cool if you need it, if you're in a pinch, but they do not read very many things at all.
Oh, on the Roku, you're talking about the Roku device?
Oh, yes, that is the least pleasant sounding device.
No, I don't use the Roku. I'm talking about just a TV with that has DirecTV access.
Huh. Well, the best TV I can definitely recommend is Samsung TVs. Those are very good.
Oh, do they have a good screen reader in the Samsung TVs?
Oh yeah. Yep. And the remote has Braille on it as well.
Wow.
Really?
Yep. Has P
Only
for power.
power, volume, and channel, though.
Yeah, but still, that's better than no Braille.
True.
You get PVC.
Clever.
Oh yeah. Does anybody have any other questions?
Yeah, I missed last week. What was last week?
Last week. Hold on a second. Last week was the.
That was the YouTube.
Thank you.
Presentation.
Yes.
That was great, Sean. You did a good job on that.
Oh, thank you. I love doing YouTube. YouTube. I love creating YouTube content, and I love video stuff. You know, just recording videos and doing. One thing that's kind of popular, I think, right now are food reviews, and so I do different food reviews, like sour food reviews, spicy food reviews, which is really fun actually, and that's on my own personal channel. But yeah, it's quite easy to create a playlist, quite easy to put videos within playlists, and there's one thing that I was uploading, excuse me, the video from last week and the video from the week before. And one thing that it does ask you now in the uploading process is this video made for kids? So you don't have to go into YT Studio for that question anymore, which is nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I had trouble logging in last week, so that's why I was asking.
Oh, no problem. No problem. And again, I apologize for the ums and pauses, but I am going through some health issues.
Oh yeah, that's okay. No problem. No problem. I listen to enough politicians and people I work with that do it all the time.
Makes sense.
Hey, not to really change the subject.
Oh,
but
you can.
I will.
It's fine.
But I will.
I'll kick you out. I'm kidding.
Talking about the Libre, you know, for people with diabetes. I had a visitation from this lady who works at United Healthcare just this past week, and I was talking to her about me getting a Libre for, you know, to check my blood sugar, and she says, "Oh, you're not qualified." And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Oh, you have to have type 1 diabetes, and your diabetes have to be like really out of control to use that kind of stuff." Is that true?
So, where are you from? You're from Hawaii, right?
Excuse me?
Are you from Hawaii?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
On the island of Oahu, Honolulu. Hawaii, yeah.
I bet it's beautiful there right now. It's cold. It's raining here, so.
But yeah, I was told that I couldn't use it because I have type 2 diabetes, and with medication, it's pretty much under control. So,
Is
she was telling me,
is your doctor having you check your blood sugars?
Yeah, sometimes
Okay.
when I go in.
Because sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, that's fair.
So basically, what qualifies you for that is that you're blind. Because I have type 2 diabetes, and I'm in the same loop you are, but because I'm blind, I was able to get that product because I said it was difficult for me to get blood on the testing strips. So if you see when you see your regular doctor the next time, I would make a claim to him because he's going to have a lot more input than like a nurse or somebody that comes out to your house.
Oh, yeah. Good idea. Because I don't know, man. This lady told me, "Oh, your diabetes has to be bad. You gotta have type 1 diabetes." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." I thought you just had, like you said.
This is where you get to play the blind card. You say, "I'm blind. I can't do this," which it's true. So therefore, that's the only time you can play the blind card.
Well, I've had other situations where I've had to play the blind card. I don't like playing the blind card, but when you get to, I'm not gonna lie, it is fun. But like I said, I don't like doing
that
it.
one for any diabetic. I tell any diabetic, you go to your doctor and you tell me you're blind and you're making me check my blood sugar, and I'm using 3 to 4 times the testing strips a normal person would be using. And
oh man!
Also,
like
if you read
like
Braille,
right now, I
Braille,
do
that's
have a way of.
another thing that you can use too, because the more
Yeah.
you poke your fingers, then the more frequent neuropathy can form, and therefore you can't read Braille anymore. So
I hate poking my fingers, and sometimes I can't do that in one sitting. It takes like 2, 3, 4 strips. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't it?
So
Isn't it like to the point now where you really don't feel it when they've made it to where you really don't feel the poke. I know one time when I had mine pricked, I didn't even know they were done. You just stuck my finger in this little thing and they say, all done. I didn't feel anything.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, so yeah, because I know back in the days, they used to always say you always count 3 and they jab you and you still scares the crap out of you.
Oh, my doctor counts to 2.
Yeah, yeah, I know her, and they're gonna do it. So I don't know why they do it. They should just do it on the first one now.
You should just talk to me, stab me while you're talking to me. That's how it works.
Yeah, there you go.
What I actually did when I was
no, but I'll talk to my
sorry.
doctor about that. That's a good thing.
If you have any more problems, just let me know. I will stick up for anyone for that product.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Another thing, you guys are talking about TVs. I don't use TV at all now. I mean, I use it. I completely cut the wire. I'm using everything on my phone. I had Netflix at one time, but I unsubscribed because it was, finances. And then I'm thinking about getting back on, but now they say that you have to have a computer to subscribe.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Really?
No. I have Netflix
They're
right
playing
now.
you like a fiddle in Hawaii. You got to come back to the mainland.
For real. Well, I mean, I'm saying that because it's like, I went on my phone. Okay, yeah, I went on my phone and then I went to renew membership and under account, and you just do it right from your phone.
Say that again, please.
You go to a Netflix site and then you sign in, then you go to account, and you go to renew membership, and I did that because I unsubscribed actually, and I just subscribed back.
So you can go to the website. That's what you're saying.
You do go through the website, but you don't have to use your computer.
Oh,
Hey Sean, did you do that? Did you do it straight from the app on your phone, or did you
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
do
I did.
Google?
You
No,
can't.
you have to do it through the website.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you
Oh,
could definitely sign in through the app,
that's
Right.
but to actually renew it, yeah, you have to do it
Oh,
through the
okay.
website. But Disney Plus and Hulu, you can do that from the App Store.
I get it.
Mhm.
Wow. Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
And then
Oh man,
also on the subject of TV, I've been really, really interested. I mean, for somebody who's has a hearing impairment, but I really, really, I've been into this thing called Dolby Atmos. You guys ever heard of that?
yeah,
It's like
I've heard of
surround
that.
sound without any speakers. I've heard some samples on YouTube where they have the Dolby Atmos and the sound just goes right around you. But I've been disappointed because I've heard some movies that claim to have it, but it doesn't do anything. It's crazy. Like Apple TV, iTunes. Some of it is okay, and some of it's not. You guys have
Okay.
any problems with that?
I don't use it at the moment.
I don't either.
And
I think just off the top of my head, I think you would have to have some speakers, a speaker system that is going to be compatible with Dolby. That's just a general subjective comment on my part, but that's usually been the case previously with Dolby. You got to have the correct speakers and position them correctly and so forth.
Right.
Oh,
Another thing that I would say is, like, and you can get these very cheaply, but if you get 5.1 surround sound headphones, and like I said, they're very cheap. I think I saw some for $40. But they're like gaming headphones. If you tell the person at Best Buy or whatever you want gaming headphones, 5.1 surround sound, then I'm sure you can get a pair very cheaply, and I think that those would work very well with
I
the
just have the phone
movie.
paired with my hearing aids and I listen to like that. And like I said, I listen on YouTube to these demos and they sound really authentic. But when I go to the movies and actually listen, yeah, maybe some of it might sound pretty cool, but it's not.
Huh.
I don't know. I just think that kind of thing would be so well appreciated by people who are blind. I mean, it's like high definition to the blind.
Yeah,
For
but
the
I think
It
blind.
Sean has
is.
a
It is.
good point. I think Sean has a good point. I think probably at the movies, the headphones were not really very good or weren't really designed for Dolby.
yeah, they stink.
They do,
Oh,
yes.
They
They,
stink.
they're regular headphones and they're attached to an audio description computer thing that, yeah. Have you guys, I'm sorry, I know we're getting way off topic of screen readers, but have you guys ever noticed that you get your audio described little machine and you go to put on the headphones and the movie's starting and you don't hear anything? And
Right.
so you go and you tell the sighted individual that you're with, or let's say you're not with the sighted individual, and you're like, oh, who do I tell? It's
oh
like
yeah.
all of a sudden you can't hear you can't hear the individual describing the movie. It's like, oh goodness. So I was with an O&M instructor one time, and I was like, Nicole, I'm not hearing the audio description. So she had to flip a switch or whatever. And so she had to assist me with getting the audio description. It's like, why could they not do that on the front desk? Oh,
I run it.
goodness.
I run into the problem where the batteries are dead.
Oh,
So
no.
yeah, so then they have to check the battery, pull the batteries out, and then they put the batteries in. And then they say, I'm not sure how to turn this on. And I said,
Great.
you work here? You're kidding me.
Or they give you because this has happened to me before, they give you the box that's for the hearing impaired and it just has the audio amplified.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
really?
That happened to me at 2 different movies, and it happened once. I went and I said, "This is for the hearing impaired," and they said, "Oh, here, try this one." And it was the same thing, and I just sat down and watched the movie. So it's just like, I really don't want to get up and do this again.
Oh
I
no.
went to see a movie with a couple of friends once, and I went through 5 boxes. Neither one of them worked. Neither one of them. So I had to sit there and they described things that was going on, which is a little better because they told me things that really, that was pertinent to the movie. Whereas sometimes you get to the descriptive videos, people they tell you everything. The grass is green and there's a tree standing to the left of a fountain. And it really doesn't have anything to do with the actual scene or the movie or anything like that. And I find that to be really something that I really don't care about, unless it's got something to do with like the grass is going to explode in the flames or something.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. So.
And you just want to know if the guy caught the pass, for example, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't care whether his left shoe was untied or his, his fly was open. Well, maybe that would be funny though. But anyway, I'm sorry. Sorry, Rachel.
No, you're good. My sister gets very graphic with the video description. Sometimes she'll say things that aren't true, and I know they're not true.
Oh no.
Well, my sisters used to always ask me, "Did you see that?" when we watch your TV, and I just say no. And then they tell me what happened.
Like, it's a naked girl.
Oh goodness.
And my sister sends me pictures. She'll send me pictures on my iPhone. I always write back and I'll say, "Boy, that's a nice looking cow." And she writes back, "That's not a cow." And then she tells me what the picture is. And she says, "I forget who I send my pictures to."
Oh boy.
So anyway.
Anybody have any other questions? Audio description? Any type of questions at this point?
Yeah.
Well, I've got
God.
one.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I've got one. It just happened Friday at work at the end of the day, so I've got to work on this some more with the tech support people. But I just got a new Windows 10 computer, and JAWS 19 is what they're using. And all of a sudden, and I've got a Focus 80 blue Braille display. And when I'm looking at stuff, all of a sudden the right side from about cell 31 on up starts jumping up and down with all 6 dots, and it interferes with what I'm trying to read on the screen. So I called JAWS. They said, do a Z chord and then power your display down and power it back up. And it works long enough for me to get through that call, and then the next call, and I've got the stuff on the screen. It does the very same thing again.
Oh gosh.
I know.
What generation is that? 5th generation?
I think it is. Yeah, it's got the space bar and probably the 4th generation if I know them. But it's got the space bar, down below the keys.
The Braille display?
Yeah. You got your keys, your 6 dots, and then you've got the cells, and then you've got the space bar.
Well, I was gonna say if it's a 5th generation, I know they've been having a lot of trouble with the Focus displays in general in the 5th generation. Like the space bar has been a huge issue, at least from what I've heard.
It's very frustrating, and it's just been they totally jacked up this computer when they gave it to me because they assigned me somebody at work that has never worked with somebody that was blind on their computer when he transferred all my files.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Yes, I'm having a blast.
Yeah, sounds like it. That's not
really.
Gosh.
But I guess I'll get back on with technical support on Monday and see if we can solve it. Because that was new and I ran out of time at the end of the day. And I just said, well, I'll have to deal with it again on Monday.
Yeah, be sure to tell them. Be sure to tell them that when you hang up, it works, and then the next time it doesn't work.
Yeah, well, like I said, we were on the phone tonight with Freedom Scientific, and I couldn't have a live call and do that. I mean, because of security stuff and because I play JAWS over my speakers at work. I sit by myself in a secluded area because most everybody else is at home, so I just sit there and I play it over the speakers because the dual-sided headphones they provided were so cheap. that they did nothing but give me a headache when I had JAWS in one side and the person on the other side. So I tried all that they had, and I said, I can't use these.
Right.
So, but, thought we had it solved. So I told the guy, thanks. And, went on to my next thing. And as soon as I brought up a new set of screens, it started again.
Jeez, I wonder if that's like a JAWS issue, or if that's.
Don't
Are
know.
you using USB or Bluetooth?
USB. They won't let us use the Bluetooth in there.
Whoa, very restricted. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So.
I mean, it makes sense because you're allowing your devices to be discoverable that way. Yeah.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's I think their main issue with that. I haven't had any problems until this week, pretty much until they gave me this new computer, and it's been an issue on a lot of stuff. But we can work on it some more and see what we can come up with. I just thought it was very unusual.
Yeah, it sounds unusual. That's the frustrating thing about the Braille displays. Like the pairing is kind of frustrating regarding Bluetooth and stuff like that. In regards as far as the Mac, that's not too frustrating, but it is when you can't provide, like watertight instructions because, like, let's say someone has a Dell computer, someone else has a Lenovo computer. It was kind of difficult when I first tried to pair my Braille display, my Focus 40 Blue, with the computer. But finally, I got it paired, and I couldn't even tell you how I got it paired. It took a long time.
I didn't have any problem with the pairing, but
What? Sorry?
Remember we had that problem with my Braille display. We couldn't get it to pair.
Yeah. Your Apex. Yep. But sorry, Bill. What were you saying?
I just said I've not had any problems with it pairing, just plugging it in. It was just pretty much a plug and play, and I didn't have any problems there. But then they changed versions of Windows with me, and then all of a sudden, this problem cropped up, and I don't know why. Nobody seems to know so far. We'll get to it Monday and
see if you can fix it. So you said you had JAWS 19, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What? 19. Okay. So that'd be JAWS 2019, correct?
Yeah. And I don't
Maybe
remember
JAWS
which version.
2020?
No, they won't allow that yet.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I know.
One reason I wouldn't recommend going back to screen readers narrator is because they do have Braille support on narrator, but last I heard, you can only use a Braille display with USB or a serial port. So if you have a old Braille display that has a serial port on it, then you're in luck. But not too many people I know have a quote unquote Braille display with a serial port, unless you have a note taker. But actually, you know what? The Apex doesn't even have a serial port, so I'm probably the only one that actually does have a Braille display that can handle serial port, which should be the Braille Empower. Wow, that's going back in time.
No kidding.
Yep. But, well, anybody have any more questions before I stop the recording?
Yes, I'd like to add a comment for the gentleman who was asking about learning narrator. Microsoft has a host of online tutorials, and they're all free.
Okay, cool. Nice. I don't know if he's still here or not. Bobby, are you still here? Probably not. He said he was going to leave. He would have to leave a little earlier or something. But okay, cool. Thank you very much for that comment. That's actually quite true. And I have attended. Actually, they had a webinar, Microsoft Accessibility webinar, and that was very nice to attend as well. So it's cool, all the training that Microsoft's offering, and of course, Microsoft Accessibility Answer Desk, which you can call using Be My Eyes. I'm sure that they'd be very happy to help as well. Any other questions?
I have none.
Okay. HK, do you have any questions?
No, and I were talking the other week, and you said, is it right? NVDA is better than Narrator, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay,
Yep. And it's free.
that's good to know that NVDA is free.
Yep. Definitely. Okay. Well, thank you guys very much for joining, and I'll leave the Zoom room open, and I will definitely upload this video. And if you guys are looking for the channel, it's called Technology, just like it's spelled, space, and then Wizard. And that's how you'll find these recordings. So until next week, which we will be talking about rail displays next week. Until then, thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
All right. Have a